Welcome back to Journeys Across Spain. Today, we're hopping on the C2 line in Malaga to head to a little town called Pizarra. There, we're going to wander the streets and check out a church with some pretty impressive architecture. After, I'm going to go on a hunt to see if we can get inside the famous palace there. And finally, we're going to climb a mountain to see if we can get not only breathtaking views, but the story behind the monument waiting at the top. Let's get going. Today we'll be taking the C2 line from Malaga Centro all the way to Pizarra. Pizarra is located about 25 to 30 minutes outside of Centro Malaga, and we'll be enjoying some spectacular views of Andalusia's countryside along the way. Alright, so we have just arrived in Pizarra. You can see right back there. We immediately have a friend, a little stray kitty cat. Hi, kitty. And he's gone. Now, I'm pretty excited for this video. This is another episode in my journeys across Spain, and for this one, it only takes about 30 minutes to get to. But I think the beautiful thing is, again, this is one of those probably smaller towns or cities. I'm not quite sure which it is, but that mainly only locals come to for work or for otherwise. And when I was doing my research about this town, there was actually a surprising amount of history. One of the interesting pieces of history is really how old this town is, and it was founded, I think it was just after 1484. So that was the period in Spanish history during the kind of the reconquest of Spain by the Christians from the Moors. And apparently there was a knight named Diego Romero who fought in the conquest of the Kingdom of Granada. And he was gifted or founded this farmstead called In the Place Full of Reeds and Palms, or the Alquería de la Pizarra, hence the name it eventually turned into Pizarra. I started off the day in Pizarra by exploring the streets and seeing what the town had to offer. From there, I ventured forth to see if I could find the church and the palace, both of which promise some quite interesting and unique architecture and history. None of the buildings here are the same. They all have different architecture, different designs, and it really makes these villages just feel so unique, or these towns so unique. Whereas, I actually showed it in a video of where I'm from, but the neighborhoods are very just like cookie cutter, and as a result of that, you really do get just a lot of like the same. Now, there's two things I want to check out before we hit the viewpoint today. So, as I said, the town of Pizarra was like formally founded in the late 15th century, and it was kind of a holding of the Alora region. So, finally in the early 1800s, Pizarra basically was kind of fed up. They didn't have any authority, and they were ruled by Alora's government and their justice system. So they basically went into a long legal battle, not a military one, but a legal battle, and finally were able to win the privilege of Velasco in 1818, and in 1847 they got their own municipal territory from Alora and so on. So there's a joke that this is the town that literally sued for its existence, but I mean, they did it. So here is like the town square, they have the awnings just like in Caballeros in Malaga, which is great to see because it really does give some nice shade to this. I bet they do lots of fun things over here though. These are like murals of the town. These were made in 2002. Hibral Mora. Some sort of festival, okay. Wow. I believe this is the palace. No, Salia? We're gonna try to see it, but I think it's closed to the public. So, just up here actually is going to be one of the churches. Hopefully it's open. I think it's a parish, so it might not be open to the public. The roof of the church was actually designed by a famous architect. I'll list it on screen because I can't remember who the architect was, but he designed the palace we're gonna go see, as well as helped design the church. So apparently this ceiling, which I'll show right now, has the style of artesonado, which is very similar to the style used in the palace that I don't know we'll be able to see, but I wanted to come in and just show this. You'll actually see a few churches like this in Valencia, and I think as well as in Barcelona. So it's a very specific like wooden style that you don't see everywhere. So here you can see the San Pedro Apostle Church. Oh, and they have it in English too. So, yeah, the Mudéjar style raised in the 17th century. Wow, that's incredible. There's a lot of history here, but you can see it. Cited the first church in the town in the 15th century. It's pretty incredible. And they have these beautiful gardens here too, wow. Oh, this is so lovely to see these gardens. I mean, they're nice and shaded. You can feel it. It gets noticeably cooler here. But you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know this is here. They might not be running the fountain right now. It's either too hot, not working, or water supply. I take a quick moment to enjoy the beautiful garden patio and the cool shade and views of the outside of the church, and as well as some of the beautiful flowering trees that exist here, before finally venturing forward to the palace. So this is the other structure I wanted to show, the Palace or Palacio of the Counts of Puerto Hermoso. And this was built in the early 1900s or the 20th century. And it also follows that neo-mudéjar Moorish style. Of course, it is not open to the public, so I will not be able to go in, which is kind of a shame because there are some beautiful gardens inside. And again, that architecture, they have the wooden ceilings called the artesonado. And apparently as well inside, there's actually some Goya paintings. I'll put a picture on the screen, but as well as a portrait of King Carlos III. So here's a little bit more detail. Sorry, there's a car on next to me, but yeah, pretty much exactly what I just said. So palace built in the beginning of the 20th century. It was built on the groundworks of the ancestral home of Diego Romera, founder of Pizarra, the beginning of the 15th century. And King Alfonso XIII stayed here for a night. 1 year later was the setting of the governmental conference about the war in Morocco. It's a shame that you can't go inside, but we're gonna walk this way. Maybe we can get some other views of it. I think this will probably be the best we can get. I'm gonna try to go around to see if there's more to see, but this might be the best we get before we head up to the summit. But we'll do a lap around. Now, the reason I'm not able to get inside is this is actually still a residence for the descendants of the noble Soto Domecq family who used to own the town of Pizarra. Well, unfortunately, they have done a very good job. I mean, I guess it was a palace, so it is completely walled off, but that's okay. All right, so we kept going, and where are we? So now we're like in some gardens near the palace. So this is probably the closest I can get. The palace is like over there. There's the palace. So that's about as close as we're gonna get to it, but that's pretty cool now. Well, I'm not disappointed. I'm glad I got to check those places out. It's cool because every town, city has their own charm to it, and you just have to look a little bit below the surface. It's definitely something that I enjoy to do. Yeah, is it the Sagrada Familia? No, but also it doesn't need to be. Not everything does, right? If everything was the view of Mount Everest, then that view would get old pretty quickly, right? Pretty happy with that. I think the next thing is we're gonna go find that trail, head up the mountain. I wander my way through town to the start of the trail so we can go and see El Santo, which promises rich history and amazing views. Oh, I love this. This is the entrance to the walk we're doing. So we are doing the Sendero El Santo. So just up over here actually is like an outdoor grill space or something. So we haven't even actually gone that far. Although just over through the trees there, you can see like quite nice views of the surrounding area. Oh, and there's like a little sports complex here as well. You know, just a short walk up here. You come with your family, your friends in the summer or in the spring or fall or autumn and just enjoy the countryside. If you're ever hiking in at least Spain, I can't speak for other countries in Europe, but they do a pretty good job of marking the trails here. So as you can see, we're hiking the Sendero El Santo, and typically they also mark it with colors. So if you don't see the actual sign with a name on it, you'll at the very least typically see colors. Sometimes they'll put them on rocks or on wooden posts, just to kind of indicate like, hey, you're still on the trail, as a reassurance. Especially as you go up, you might lose some altitude or you might lose some GPS or internet. We're starting to get up into the mountains now, and for those of you, maybe your Spanish isn't so good, prohibido hacer fuego. It's prohibited to do fires or to make fires. Whoa, what is this? Okay, this is kind of cool and also a little like intimidating. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick this up, but there's a little crevice here, and this is actually part of the trail. So we're gonna go inside. And then, oh my gosh, they have this staircase up. Wow, okay. This is pretty cool. If you are claustrophobic or don't like rocks overhead, maybe not for you, but onward. I feel like I've been like taken back in time or something. I'm on like some sort of mystical journey on a pilgrimage, or I was given a quest by some mysterious figure to go into the mountains. Well, I guess the quest kind of paid off. Again, we're already kind of above it all and we get these beautiful views. Oh. I think we're only like a quarter of the way there. So let's keep going. One thing that's cool about Spain, and I know it's pretty common in other countries too, but obviously Spain is known for the Camino de Santiago, you know, the very famous hiking routes, which at some point I will get to. But what's cool is on these trails, you can actually follow them and get to other towns and regions. I actually met a chap from the UK who actually did a couple-day hiking excursion. So if that's something you'd be interested in, I may consider doing that as part of my journeys across Spain. Maybe make a multi-part video series. So do let me know down in the comments if that's something you're interested in. So if you made it this far in the video, you might be asking, Evan, why are you making these kinds of videos again? And you know, some of my recent videos have been like reflections or video essays about life in Spain. Recently, I followed this YouTuber called Masconi, and I'll leave a link to his channel down below. reminded me a little bit of why I like to travel. It's to go see, you know, the postcard places, but more importantly, it's to see the places that a lot of other people don't. Not because I'm trying to prove a point, but more, there's something magical that you go to these places where people truly live and life and history has happened. But part of what I want to do by visiting these smaller towns and places kind of off the beaten path, or taking routes that maybe don't get you to exactly where everyone else is going, is to share that with all of you. So I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up, but we are going up there. You probably can't see it, but there is a statue up there, and that is part of what we are going to go see today. So we are going to continue onwards, but we've already come so far. That's the town of Pizarra. So just to give perspective on how far we've come already, that was the soccer field we walked past earlier, and I was like, oh yeah, there's a sports complex. So we have gone about 1.5 kilometers from Pizarra, and we still have 2.3 to go to El Santo. We are getting ever closer. That up there, that statue, that is what we are aiming towards. Oh, we're getting close. We're pretty close now. It looks far away on camera, but we're not far. So, if you're ever wondering, how do you know what trails to walk on? Well, I'm not a mountain goat, so I don't just start going. I use All Trails. It is a great app. It works on your phone. It is pretty good. You can download maps. This is not a sponsored trip, although All Trails, if you're listening or watching, sponsor me. I don't know if you can see them, but there are some goats over there. Hello, goats. I'll give them some space. I think I surprised them. They were just hanging out on the rocks over there. And here we are. And before we actually look at the statue, I mean, just look at this. I love living here. It's simple to say, but I mean, it really is just beautiful, this region. So here is a sign of El Santo, and yeah, it's over 100 years old. So they have a whole history here about it. So this statue here has a lot of history, and it's actually been destroyed once, and then another statue that was erected later, or maybe a symbol is a better way to put it, was also destroyed. So this statue was originally kind of built, or it was commissioned in 1920 by Francisco Hernandez Rubio Gomez. And, you know, they wanted to create a statue of, you know, Jesus with the Sacred Heart. And it was finished and built in 1921. The statue was actually torn down in 1936, following the general elections there. And it was actually thrown, I assume, into this ravine here. In 1940, a wooden cross was resurrected or put in its place. And I think the pieces were eventually recovered from the ravine and then placed at the base. They're not, I don't think they're there now, I didn't see them, but so many years later, the cross was actually struck by lightning and was destroyed. So what was placed there once, not once, but not twice, was destroyed. And then in 1994, the city recommissioned and built the statue that's up there now. So it's kind of crazy. And you know, this statue has a history of over 100 years, but it really is pretty incredible. And you know, obviously there's other statues like this. I think, you know, the Sacred Heart is something you'll find in South America and other places like that. So it is a kind of a classic symbol. that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, if you did, let me know down in the comments below. If you liked it, you know what to do. And if you want to see more of my upcoming journeys across Spain, I've got some plans for some places in Andalusia, but also in and around Spain itself. So definitely the best way to find out what I'm doing is to just subscribe. It means a lot to me. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.